Hey, Eeyore, it is summertime. And you know what happens in summer?
Well, it gets warm out.
Well, yeah, that too. But you know what else happens? Love, romance, weddings.
Well, are you getting married?
No, I am not getting married.
Well, that's good, because you better not. Not without me
Oh, I
approving
have to
of
get your
it.
permission first?
Well, yeah, permission.
You gotta make sure that they're not thump worthy.
Yeah, I thumped them.
You gonna
Thumped them
thump them?
hard.
You gonna sit at the table sharpening your little claws
Yeah,
when I introduce them to you?
yeah.
You're a very demanding guy.
Well, yeah, that's because I'm the boss.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I'm the boss.
I know. I know, you're the boss. But no, I am not getting married. I promise. I have no
Well,
interest.
that's good. That's good.
However, I do have interest in trying a new genre of books for once.
What is a genre?
A genre is a type of book.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to try reading romance.
romance.
Bunnies are good at romance. Because, bunnies are the humpingest creatures in the entire universe.
Well, I never.
Yeah, you know it. Don't try and deny it.
Well, I never.
You even hump the cat.
Well, he deserved that.
Okay, whatever.
Well, I just does what I needs to do as a bunny.
Okay, fine. Let's go read some romance books. Like I mentioned in the opening, summer is the season of romance, and it's a good time to try a new genre. I'm starting a new series because I enjoyed doing the one with where I read mixed media books for the first time. But there's a lot of genres that I haven't read yet, or that I don't automatically gravitate to. I tend to focus on historical and mystery thriller. Those are my two kind of go-to genres. But there's so many other genres out there, and I don't know if I would like them or not, because I've read a book here or a book there, but I've never really, focused on them. So I thought it would be fun to start a little series where I read some books in some different genres. And what better time, summertime, than to try romance. Now, romance is going to be an interesting one for me because I love a good love story. I don't mind a good love story. But I'm very asexual. So I have never had the urge to read in particular spicy type romance in any way, shape, or form, because it just does nothing for me. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to like it. And as long as it tells a good story at the same time, and I like the characters, I'm sure I will more than likely enjoy it. I have read some stuff, that in my recent Summerween vlog, I read a Heather Graham one, which actually is actually a paranormal romance, which I didn't realize, but it wasn't like super spicy. There was just a couple of spicy scenes. But yeah, so I have read a little bit here and there, but I've never really, tried it. And I see a lot of other authors reading them. So what I did is I picked 3 books to try, and I'm going to go ahead and read them and see what I think and, judge whether I want to pursue the genre at all further. So the 3 books that I picked, the first one I don't have it here. I ordered it from the library and it hasn't come in yet. And that is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. And that one I have seen on BookTube all over the place. I've seen people recommending it all over the place, saying it's a really good story. So I'm looking forward to trying that one. What I understand is that the main character is a woman who comes from a rich family of doctors in the city, and she's kind of following in the family footsteps, and she ends up in a small town where she meets this guy. I think he might be the mayor. I can't remember the mayor or whatever of this small town, and the two of them are from completely different worlds, and they start to kind of have a relationship. And the only thing that I remember somebody saying is that the main male character is very delightful and that he has a pet goat. So that was kind of sold it for me because, I'm a farm person. So I want to try reading that one. And then I wanted to read, this is one that I had gotten for Christmas a few years ago. It's a suspense thriller romance, and that's Hard as It Gets by Laura Kay. This one was a gift to me from my sister for Christmas a couple of years ago because it was one of her favorite series. So I thought I would try that one since I own it. And this one has to do with, it's part of a series, and it has to do with some special forces soldiers, and they were dishonored and discharged. And then so this one is about a guy named Nicholas Rixey, and he owns a tattoo parlor, and this girl comes into his tattoo parlor. Her name is Becca Merritt. And, but she is his ex-commander's daughter, and apparently her brother has been presumed kidnapped, and so she's looking to him for help. And he doesn't want to get involved because of all the history with what happened, but he decides to get involved. So that one I'm hoping will be interesting. Like I say, that one's going to be a little bit more spicy, but I don't know what the level of spice is in the other one either, but my sister did say that it's a really good story too, with really good characters and adventure. And for me, that the characters and the adventure is what's going to sell it for me. And then I thought I would I'm trying to do a few different things. So I thought Abby Jimenez, that's, kind of like a really popular one right now. This one is maybe a little bit more of an adventure one, but possibly a little bit more spicy. And then I decided I would also try and read a male one. So that I took out from the library, Red, White, and Royal Blue. And as I heard that this one was good, this is by Casey McQuiston. And the story behind this one is that you have Alex Claremont Diaz, and he is the son of the first female president of the United States. And he ends up having a beef with the son of the royal family in England, whose name is Henry. And the tabloids kind of get a hold of it, and they are, it's kind of causing an incident. And so they decide to stage basically the press people for both the royal family and the presidential family decide to stage a truce kind of thing between them. And from what I understand, then they're kind of faking that they're friends, and then it develops into something else. So that one should be good too. I've heard good things about it. And I have no idea what the level of spice is in it. But yeah, so I'm kind of looking forward to trying those, now that it's summertime and it's, a good time to try and read romance. But basically I've only ever read, I think I read, like I say, I read that Heather Graham one, which was technically a romance. The only time I ever read more of a spicy romance was for a book club that I was doing, and I hated that book so much. That's one reason why I never went after romance again, because it was one of those alpha male kind of romances, and I just can't stand that, because I've been a strong, independent woman my entire life and worked in male-dominated professions, and the whole alpha male, I'll tell you what to do and you do it, and, oh, well, that makes me so sexy. I hate that stuff. It just drives me up the wall. So hopefully I don't get any of that. But these were ones that were recommended by my sister, my older sister, who does like to read these kind of books, but she also has similar tastes to me in that sort of thing. So I can pretty much guarantee that none of these are going to be that sort of alpha male sort of thing. So I am going to get a start on those, and I will let you know what I think and what my final conclusion about reading romances is once I'm done. Hey everyone, time for my first little update. I started this one last night. It's As Hard as It Gets by Laura Kay. As my first in my romance reading vlog, I got to chapter 8, which is 90 pages in. And I'm enjoying the story so far. It's kind of an adventure. This woman has shown up at this guy's tattoo shop asking for his help because he was in her father's special forces unit that he was the commander of but he died, and they were disbanded, and you find out that there was some very shady things that went on, and they were dishonorably discharged, the 6 of them that survived. The other 6 were killed. And then her father was also killed, but it sounds like he's to blame for it. There was something that was corrupt about him, and they were kind of the scapegoats. So you kind of find this out in the first little bit. But her brother has gone missing, and his place has been ransacked. And so she's asking for this guy's help, but she doesn't know anything about what happened with her father and everything, other than that he was killed. So she's asking for his help to try and figure out what's going on, find her brother. And all she knows is that they had a fight a week before because her brother told her that he had found something out about their father that was, that he wasn't maybe the person that she thought he was. So he isn't going to help because of past history, and then he decides that he will help because he can't get her out of his head. So anyways, that part so far was really good. There was a little bit of action because there was a break-in at her house and everything. The only thing that I'm finding is that I find that I'm trying to think of what I can actually say on here. I find that the sexual stuff gets in the way of the story. I am so asexual. I'm just funny because, okay, so there's this intruder who's just come to their house, and then they call the cops, and he, the main character who's the military guy, he makes sure everything's safe, and then he's gonna be getting her to somewhere safe and everything. But it's like he keeps saying things, and I'm just like, oh my God, man, think with your big brain, not the little one. But then she's just as bad. It's like she's got all this crap going on. I would be just exhausted and want to go to sleep. She's exhausted and wants to do it with him. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. So that's me so far reading a spicy romance. Oh, we'll see how it goes. Like I say, the story itself and the characters are interesting. I'm finding that the spicier bits are kind of irritating. Such is life.
Lighten up, take me on your magic river. Tell me all your dreams align. Sign me up and tell me about the people that you know who are trying to feel alive. Life can get hard, so honey, if you need to cry, just come share my pillow and rain, rain, go away. I wanna hear about everything you're ever thinking. You know that I can take the truth. Call me out if you think I'm never slipping. Maybe I can turn it around. Oh yeah. Baby, if you want us, you know time is on our
and I'm going to give you an update on this one. So I have now gotten to page 136 in As Hard as It Gets by Laura Kay. I'm discovering a couple things about myself as I read these. One is that I'm pretty sure romance is not going to be my genre. I'm interested in continuing to try romance, but I'm thinking it's probably not going to be my genre. One of the main issues that I'm having is everything happens too fast. I think then this is part of what I'm doing with this vlog, is trying different types of books in the genre to see what I end up liking and what I don't. And I'm getting a feeling that slow burn is probably going to be my jam when it comes to romance books, because I just find that everything is happening way too fast. Like the characters have barely known each other for a couple days and they're already wanting to, be in bed together. So, and that for me is just too fast. I don't buy into it. With this one here, the story is really good. I'm really enjoying the actual story of, what's going on with the girl. And there was, her brother has gone missing and she's trying to get help from the guy who was part of her father's special forces team. And that I'm finding really, really interesting. But I'm finding that the sex and romance aspect of it is getting in the way of the story. And because I'm a very asexual person, it took me a lot of years, real talk again, but it took me a lot of years to be okay with that, to realize that being ace was actually a legitimate sexual orientation. So that's why I haven't really ever gravitated towards romance fiction, because I'm not at all interested in the sexual attraction part of it. So I'm finding that I'm not enjoying it in the books. Like, it's things that other people would find really sexy, I find kind of disgusting. But I'm okay with that because it took me a lot of years to be okay with that, because I grew up in a world where women were expected to want to get married and have children. So it took me a long time to accept the fact that I am just not that kind of a person. But all more power to the people who are and enjoy books like this, because it is definitely a decent book. And like I say, I like the storyline. I just am having difficulty with the whole other aspect of it. And it's like, because they're constantly thinking about it. It's like, can you guys not look at each other without thinking about doing it together? It's the guy and the girl. They're both like that. And it's just like, holy crap, you guys just went through this like traumatic experience and the, an attempted kidnapping and all this. And the first thing you can think about is having sex. So anyway, but regardless, I am going to continue reading it. I am, like I say, 100 and some pages into this one. And I'm hoping that one of the other two, I'm not sure because I have no idea, but I'm hoping that one of the other two that I'm going to be reading is a slow burn, because I have a distinct impression that the slow burn romance is going to be way more my thing. So anyways, so that's my little update for that one. And I'll keep reading and I'll let you know how that goes and what I end up thinking and rating the book and rating the, my experience of the genre anyway. And the other thing that I wanted to do is, like I say, try some of these genres and kind of try a range of books in them. I'm only doing 3 books for a vlog, so it's a little bit hard, but trying to do a range of books in them so I kind of get a feel for if I want to explore the genre any further. So if you have any recommendations for me for something that you think I might like in the romance genre, be sure to put it down in the comments. And I will go back to reading. So I'm back, and hopefully you guys can't hear the air conditioner. If you can, I'm sorry, but it's plus 35 today and I cannot turn it off even for a video. So, update time. I finished this one, Hard as It Gets by Laura Kay. This was my first time reading a spicy romance. Well, not my first time, but first time in the last several years reading a spicy romance. And I ended up giving it 3 stars, which for me was probably generous because I felt kind of bad because the story itself was good. I enjoyed the mystery aspect of it and the way that it was a special forces team trying to find the girl's missing brother and that whole storyline. But oh my God, there was so much sex in it and so much descriptive sex. By the time it got to the end, I was so tired of hearing about roosters and, other things that YouTube probably doesn't want me to say. And I know people read these for that, but not me. I couldn't do it. So I ended up giving it 3 stars, and I'm not going to finish the series. I'm going to get my sister who has read them to tell me what happens because I'm interested. See, this is the problem. I'm interested in the actual story and what's going on in the background and everything, but I just can't. It drove me nuts. They were so, every last thing had to do with how much they were lusting after each other, and they'd only known each other for a couple of days, which I get it. It's an intense situation and whatever, but still, it's that's why I say I probably would like a slow burn better. But it got to one point halfway through where it was oh my God, would you two just have sex already so that I don't have to listen to you guys talk about how much you would like to? But then it happened, and then it just kept happening, and it was I just had no desire to read that, and it was, I just don't find it sexy at all. I don't put that in your mouth. No. Ew. I'm not the right reader for that. Anyway, so I have a feeling that romance is not going to be my genre, but we'll see. The next one up that I'm going to read is Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is about Alex Claremont Diaz, who is the son of the first female president of the United States, and he gets into an argument with the son of the royal family in England, and it's going to cause an international incident, so they have to be basically forced to prove that they're friends and everything, and that leads to, I think, kind of an enemies to lovers sort of situation. So we'll see how that goes. That's the one I'm going to read next. Still waiting for the other one to come in at the library, which is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. So waiting for that one to come in at the library, but I'm going to read this one next, and hopefully I enjoy it. We will see how it goes. Hey everyone. So I have gotten a good start on Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I am now 72 pages in, and so far I'm enjoying this one. I'm enjoying this one more than I enjoyed the other one so far, I think, because it's definitely slow burn, because they start out as enemies and they're just kind of getting to know each other, and it's not like an insta-lust situation, which is what I struggled with in the other one. I had a hard time with accepting that as, a good storyline. So I am enjoying this one so far, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. So this one is about the son of the President of the United States. His name is Alex Claremont Diaz. And his mother is the first female president of the United States. And then he and his sister and his mother end up going over to England for the marriage of the oldest prince of England. And while there, you find out that Alex kind of has a vendetta against Henry, who is the youngest son of the king and queen. And so they end up kind of clashing at the wedding, and a major incident happens. And now the news is reporting that they have this feud going on, and it's going to be affecting international relations. So Alex is called into the office by his mother and her main aide, the person who looks after the first family. And he's told that he is now going to have to go to England and pretend that he and Henry are friends, and they're setting up the same thing over there, and they have to make a big show for the media and everything that they're friends, and they're going to develop this fake friendship. So that's kind of the inciting incident that starts the book off. And so far I'm finding the characters are pretty good. I'm kind of torn on Alex because he's not the most likable character, but you can also tell that there's other layers underneath, that he's kind of hiding with this brash exterior and, you know, his hatred for Henry and all of that kind of thing. And whereas I tend to be a little more inclined to like Henry, but then I know I probably have always kind of had a bit of a bias towards liking the royals versus the president's family. So good old Canada. Anyway, so but I find that Henry is a more likable character than Alex right now, but we're in Alex's point of view, so you're getting the stuff that goes on in his head too, so you can tell that there is some deeper parts to him. He's not as shallow as he seems. And I think he's going to have a good growth arc as well. So that I'm excited to see what happens there. But so far I'm enjoying the writing. It is in first person present tense, which is not my favorite. I prefer past tense, but present tense is okay. I've gotten a lot more used to it over the years. So that's fine. And the writing is pretty good. So I am looking forward to continuing that one, and I have a feeling that this is definitely going to be more my style than the Instalust and lots of sex in the previous book that I read. So we'll see what I think of this one, and I'll keep going and let you know. And yeah, so now I'm going to, it's late at night, it's like 1 a.m, but I'm going to put some books away. I've got a whole stack of them. I'll show you here. Okay, ignore the messy desk because this is my craft room as well, and it kind of, like everybody's craft room, it exploded. There's one of my paintings. Anyway, so these are all the books that I had for my book haul that I posted. I'll post a link to it up in the corner, and I need to put them on my shelves. Now, my shelves are a little bit haphazard right now. I had a whole bunch of books that I took out when I unhauled a bunch for the sale that we were doing for the sanctuary. So there's a lot of gaps. This is my fiction side, and the stuff in those top 3.5 rows are the books that I have that I'm planning on definitely keeping, and then the stuff in the lower rows are ones that I'm still going to read and decide on what I want to keep out of them. So it's kind of up in the air as to if this winter I want to go through and I want to reorganize my entire set of bookshelves, because this isn't working. And I have like a closet full of books, and I have some bins of books, and I want to try and get it so that I can put all my books on here and then a few in the closet, and I'm going to get a couple other bookshelves as well. So that's what I've got over there. And then I'll show you this one, but it's kind of a mess right now. This is my nonfiction area. And again, I took a whole bunch of books and got rid of them. So I have a lot of space now to put stuff in. So when I redo my shelves, I'm going to potentially change this so that it's a little bit different, because I don't have nearly as many kids books. That was what this bottom shelf was kids books that I was keeping or interested in reading. And so I'm thinking I'm probably going to take the kids' books and put them in that closet once I get that cleaned out. And so then I can put some of the nonfiction down there, and I can maybe put, or I can have another fiction row there, because I have more fiction now. So this definitely needs a lot of work, but that'll be a winter project. But I do have one nonfiction book that I'll be putting over here. So let's get started putting some books away.
Lighten up, take me on your magic river. line. Sign me up and tell me about the people that you know who are trying to feel alive. Life can get hard, so honey, if you need to cry, just come share my pillow and rain, rain, go away. I wanna hear about everything you're ever thinking. You know that I can take the truth. And call me out if you think I'm never slipping. Maybe I can turn it around. Oh yeah. Baby, if you want us, you know time is on our side.
Well, I finished this book last night. I know I didn't give you guys any updates in between after that first update because kind of had a bit of a rough couple of days here. It's one of those things where, you know, life running an animal sanctuary is awesome. Oh, Raven, don't bump that. Is really awesome most of the time. But then there are those days where you get reminded very vividly that you can't save everyone. And unfortunately, that's kind of a situation we're in with a little guy that we just rescued. So I've been kind of depressed for a few days, so I haven't recorded anything, but I did read. I read this one. I finished Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, and this book surprised the hell out of me and got 5 stars. So I was thinking after reading the other romance book that romance just was not going to be my genre. I am a romantic person, but I am not a sexual person. I'm very asexual, as you guys can tell from what I've already told you on this vlog. But this book, I absolutely fell in love with the characters. At first I didn't really like Alex. I thought that he was too full of himself and brash and, you know, all of that. But his growth arc was really good, and you really got to start to know him and to see how that was kind of a defense of his. And I really, really fell for Henry. I just loved his character and, you know, the struggles that he was having and having to deal with being a prince and dealing with his sexuality and how inappropriate that was for his position and, you know, the way people treated it in his own family. And so I really, really felt for him. He had my heart. Really, Raven? You're disrupting the mood, Raven. Anyway, so yeah, this one ended up getting 5 stars for me. I think I can think of 3 reasons why I much preferred this one to this one. Number 1 is that in this one, it was not nearly as detailed and graphic in the sex scenes as this one. Raven, okay, get out of there. Oh, this cat. Okay, I will hold you then. Yeah, so it wasn't nearly as, oh boy, this is quite the video. It wasn't nearly as graphic in the sex scenes as this one was, which I preferred because I just don't care to know in that much detail. I don't mind, you know, your average sex scene, but I don't need to know in that much detail. And then number 2 reason was, I think, because this one, it had a lot more humor in it, and the romance in this one was really the main plot. You know, how they were going to make it work, how they were going to tell people, how they were going to get out of the situation where, it was so taboo for them, and all of those kinds of things was the main plot of this one. Whereas in this one, the main plot was more of an action adventure type plot, and it was they were trying to figure out what was going on and where her brother was, and all of this. And so I found in this one, all the sex and everything just got in the way, and I just wanted them to get it over with so that we could get on with the plot and figure out what was actually happening. Whereas in this one, the sex was actually a plot point. And I think that was one of the major differences for me, which is kind of funny because I was expecting that I would be more interested in these ones here, where it was, like the action type story that I like. And then just had the romance side of it too. But it turns out that I just found that the romance side got in the way of the plot for me and just kind of annoyed me. I did also like the writing better in this one. I thought the writing style fit me a lot more. The language used, I liked the sense of humor. This one had a bit of more of a rom-com sort of feel to it in some places. There were places that I laughed out loud. Okay, Raven, I gotta put you down. There were places that I actually laughed out loud in this one that made me really enjoy it as well. And I just really liked her writing style. And then, Raven, seriously, dude. Okay. Then I think the other reason why I liked this one more, which kind of surprised me too, is I think I liked this one more because it was a male-male relationship. And what I kind of figured out about myself as I was reading this is that, like, I'm a very, what would the word be? I'm a very immersive reader. So when I read a story, I get really into it and I imagine myself in the story. So when I was reading this one, I kept imagining myself in the story as the woman because I'm a woman. And so it was like imagining those events happening. Okay, get in the window then, you. Okay. It was like imagining those events happening to myself, which I was not at all interested in because I am very asexual and I have absolutely no desires in that way. So I found it awkward and kind of to imagine myself in that situation. Whereas when I was reading this one, I didn't imagine myself as one of the characters. It was more like I was watching them and I was like a side character in my mind, just, in on what was going on and hoping for the best for them without actually being one of the characters in my head. And so I found that the sex scenes and everything in this one, I didn't find them as, I don't know what the right word is, not really gross, but it I kind of found, imagining what was happening in this book a little bit worse than what was happening in this book. I know this sounds terrible, but yeah, I didn't enjoy imagining this happening as much as I enjoyed imagining this happening. Oh boy, this whole vlog is making me blush. Anyway, so that's where I'm at right now. So Red, White, and Royal Blue got 5 stars. I do want to read her other books. She apparently has 2 more already and 1 more coming out this year, I believe, in August here. And it looked like from Goodreads that 2 of them are female-female romances, and the new one I think is a male-male romance. So I'd be curious to see how I feel about reading the female-female romance if I find myself inserting myself into this story again and not enjoying it, or if I kind of watch it as a separate sort of movie kind of thing like I did this one, or if I'm just going to end up being somebody who likes male-male romances and not really likes male-female or female-female. So we'll see. But I'm learning something new about myself and what I like to read. So now the next step up is to read the third one, which is I was going to read Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, because I've been really interested in checking that one out because the story sounds good, but I am still waiting for it from the library. So we'll see what happens here. If I can get it in the next, couple weeks, I'll still read it and record it for this vlog. Otherwise, I might have to either pick something else that I can get my hands on a little easier, or just do this vlog based on 2 books, although I really wanted to do 3. So we'll find out. I will leave this on hold. Oh, one other fun thing that I discovered recently is depending on when this vlog comes out versus other vlogs that I'm working on, you might already know this, but we discovered that little Pepper, the little black kitten, is actually a girl, not a boy. So it's not brothers, it's a brother-sister pair. And yeah, they're doing so well. They're just growing like crazy. They're little chunks. When you give them their kitten milk at night, or when we give them their wet food, they go into the bathroom to eat it so the other cats can't steal it from them. And then they come out and it's like, you pick them up and it's like picking up a little baseball with legs, because they're just so full of food. They love to eat, they love to play, they love to sleep. Pepper especially loves to purr now. She's really discovered her purr. I'll maybe put up a little clip of that if I haven't already in previous vlogs by the time this one comes out. So anyways, that's my kitten update for you guys. And Oscar still thinks he's their dad and takes care of them. So, but yes, I will go on and hopefully get to that 3rd book and be able to let you know how that's going. So I will see you guys soon, hopefully.
Lighten up, take me on your magic river. Tell me all your dreams align. Sign me up and tell me about the people that you know who are trying to feel alive. Life can get hard, so honey, if you need to cry, just come share my pillow and rain, rain, go away. I wanna hear about everything you're ever thinking. You know that I can take the truth. Call me out if you think I'm ever slipping. Maybe I can turn it around. Oh yeah. Baby, if you want us, you know time is on our side. But things are gonna haunt us, we'll just have to put aside. And I'm right here if you just need to cry. Come love, share my pillow and rain, rain, go away. Been some time since you fixed me. I'll never forget your time. I
So, as you all may be able to tell from my sweater wearing, the little bit of leaves behind me, all that sort of thing, it is no longer summer. And, we were saying that summer was the season of love, and we were going to read love stories and romance during the summer and try that out. However, I really wanted to try this book, and it finally came in at my library. I ordered it at the end of June, and it finally came in at the library. It is a very popular book, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to read it for this vlog. So I am going to be reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and I am looking forward to trying this one. This one, it's a woman named Alexis Montgomery, and she ends up out in a small town where she meets Daniel Grant, who is described as a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her and as casual as they come, the complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis. And so it's about them meeting each other, discovering that they have a connection, and trying to sort out how they could possibly make it work when they come from completely different worlds. So I thought that would be an interesting one. It's, again, a male-female romance, which I'm looking forward to checking out and seeing whether I like it or not. And we'll see what my final thoughts are on the romance genre after trying the books that I did. So I will let you know how it goes. Hello everyone, I'm in the process of baking a birthday cake for my daughter on this very rainy afternoon. So I thought I'd take you with me while I do some baking, and I can tell you a little more about the book that I've been reading. So first of all, I'll just show you here. This is my recipe, and yes, this page of the book is very stained. I'm making the Black Midnight cake. This was my favorite cake that my mom used to make for me when I was a kid, and I realized I've never actually made it for my daughter, so I decided that I would make it for her birthday. So anyways, let's get started. So yeah, I've been reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and I've gotten about, I would say, I think I've gotten about 7 or 8 chapters in, so I'm not super far in yet, but just getting my flour. I'm not super far in yet, but so far I'm actually really enjoying it. So the main character is Alexis Montgomery is her name, and she is she's a doctor in the city, in I think it's Minneapolis, St. Paul, and she is just broke up with her significant other of 7 years because he cheated on her, and then but he's beloved by their family because he's a doctor at the because he's a doctor at the hospital as well. And her family is like this big name people who, created this hospital and everything. So she's expected to do certain things because of who she is. And the story starts with her swerving off the road to miss a raccoon and getting stuck in the ditch. And she is by this small town, and she gets pulled out by this guy named Daniel. And Daniel is younger than her by about 10 years. And he is a carpenter. He is also the mayor of this tiny little town of 300 people and everything. But he pulls her out of the ditch. And then you find out later he goes into the town. It's a tourist town, and there's nothing really going on yet in the town for the season. And so everybody's at the bar, and in comes the girl that he pulled out of the ditch. And she's this pretty redhead, and all the guys are looking at her like, oh yeah, I'd like to take her home, kind of thing. But he ends up talking with her, and again, because he helped her, and then they have a little discussion about the fact that these guys are betting to see who can take her home and all this kind of stuff. And so she comes up with this plan that she's going to help him win the money by going out with him, and then she'll take off for home and whatever. But yeah, so it starts out like that. And he's a really funny character. He is looking after a baby goat for a friend, and the goat has pajamas and lives in the house and these sorts of things. So of course that wins her over. And what starts as a one night stand is going to, I assume, because that's what the book's about, develop into something more. But because they're from such different worlds, it's going to be difficult to figure out how they're going to actually have a relationship. So yeah, I'm still early on in the book, but I'm really enjoying it. It's quite entertaining so far. I like the writing style. I like the fact that it's not overly descriptive so far in the spicy scenes. I'm not a big fan of super descriptive. I'm not a huge fan of super descriptive spicy scenes, as we've come to discover from this vlog. So but I'm enjoying it so far. So we'll see how it goes. I may have discovered a type of romance reading that I like. We'll see, because so far I'm enjoying it. But I will update you guys when I get a little further into the book. And I'm going to go ahead and bake this cake. I'm putting in my second cup of flour. So we'll go ahead and I'll take you guys with me.
Lighten up, take me on your magic river. Tell me all your dreams align. Sign me up and tell me about the people that you know who are trying to feel alive. Life can get hard, so honey, if you need to cry, just come share my pillow and rain, rain, go away. I wanna hear about everything you're ever thinking. You know that I can take the truth. And call me out if you think I'm never slipping. Maybe I can turn it around. Oh yeah. Baby, if you want us, you know time is on our side. But things are gonna haunt us, we'll just have to put aside. And I'm right here if you just need to cry. Come love, share my pillow and rain, rain, go away. Been some time since you fixed me. I'll never forget your time.
Hello everyone, it is finally time to end the romance vlog. So the other night I finished Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez, and I really enjoyed this book. I shocked myself by enjoying it as much as I did. It is it wasn't what I expected that I would like, because it is kind of one of those originally and kind of an insta-lust sort of situation, but because it starts as a one night stand and then develops into something else. But I did like the fact that the romance aspect of itself took longer to develop. It was, more of a, the actual romance part was a slower burn, but the love and that sort of stuff happened fairly quickly, which surprised me that I liked it as much as I did. But the reason I liked it so much was the characters. I really, really loved these characters. Alexis and Daniel both had depth to them that I enjoyed. And I liked their backstories. I thought that made them deeper characters, stronger characters. It dealt quite a bit with domestic abuse and with things like that, which I thought was really handled very well. And I loved the ending. I am finally starting to admit that I cry in books a lot now. I used to not cry at all when I was reading, but ever since I got along further into menopause, I'm so much more emotional when I read. It's really quite funny. But anyways, yeah, so I loved this one. I ended up giving it 4.5, and I want to read the other ones in this series and see what I think of more of her books. So let's talk a little bit about what I liked and didn't like and whether I'm going to read more of this genre, because that was the whole point of this challenge, was to read some books that I normally wouldn't pick up and see whether I liked them. So it started out, of course, with me reading this one here, As Hard as It Gets by Laura Kay. And I gave this one 3.5, but that was probably a little generous for how I actually felt. It's probably more of a 3, because I liked the background storyline, but I didn't care for the romance, and I really didn't care for the levels of descriptiveness involved in the spicy scenes. So that one I gave 3.5. Then I read Red, White, and Royal Blue, and I gave that one 5. I really enjoyed that one, again, largely because of the characters and their backstories and their depth. I really enjoyed that one. And then I read Part of Your World and gave it 4.5. So that kind of surprised me that I actually really, really enjoyed 2 of those. And so what I've kind of discovered about myself, being an asexual person, but I'm asexual, but I'm not aromantic. I do like a good romantic story. I just am not interested at all in reading about the sex in any detail. And so this is kind of what I discovered about myself, that as long as it's not hyper detailed in the spicy scenes, and it has a good background story of the characters have some depth to them and make decisions that make sense to me. That works really well for me. I do think I'm probably much more of a slow burn romance reader, because I find the insta love or insta lust to be a little more on the unbelievable side for me. And so I prefer more of a slow burn. I tried I read 2 male-female romances and 1 male-male romance. And I did find that in areas where it was more descriptive, I definitely preferred the male-male romance, because I didn't have to imagine myself in that situation, because I have no interest whatsoever in imagining myself in that situation. So when I was reading the male-male one, I wasn't one of the characters in my head, I couldn't imagine it. And then with the Abby Jimenez one, it wasn't so descriptive that I found it awkward to read for myself personally. So I think as long as I read books that aren't super descriptive in the spicy scenes and have a lot more, have the characters themselves play a bigger part in the story, and where it's not. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is that it has to be average level of spiciness, not very descriptive spiciness. because I don't really want to know in detail about exactly what they're doing at every second of the scene. So as you'll see from how I looked when I was reading the descriptive one. So anyways, this was the romance vlog, and like I say, I surprised myself by discovering a new genre that I may actually continue reading some things in. So I do definitely, like I say, I want to read the rest of the Part of Your World series by Abby Jimenez and see what I think of the rest of them, whether I like her writing as much in those ones. And then I do want to try another Casey McQuiston as well, just to see whether liking Red, White, and Royal Blue was a one-off for me, or if I'm going to like them as an author. So that pretty much closes this vlog out. I'm planning on continuing with this series and trying some other different genres over the next year. I want to try some sci-fi. I want to try some high fantasy. I did some ghost stories here at Halloween, so that was kind of trying horror genre, but I will do a specific one where I'm specifically trying books like that. And, just a bunch of different genres to give a try. I want to try dark academia. I'm maybe going to try romantasy. I don't know. I'm not sure whether I will like that or not, because I'm not really a fantasy person even yet. So I'm getting more into fantasy this year, which really surprised me, because I've always been more of a historical fiction and mystery thriller reader. And I've actually read quite a bit of fantasy. I've read some cozy fantasy and, a couple of other ones. And I'm starting to slowly figure out what I like there too. And that's the whole point, is to figure out what subgenres in the genre I like as well, because there's certain things that I tend to like more than others. So let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And let me know if you know of any other nice slow burn romances that might appeal to someone like me who doesn't like a lot of description in the spicy scenes. Let me know that down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys soon on my next video. Bye.